What if I told you your morning could add 20 years to your life, not with medicine, not with some miracle supplement, but through ancient practices discovered by a Roman emperor? His name was Marcus Aurelius. He ruled an empire, commanded armies, and fought endless wars, but every morning before the world awoke, he trained his mind before his body. He once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." And modern science now agrees your morning thoughts shape your biology. The great naval Ravikant said, "Earn with your mind, not your time." But the Stoics believed you must first master your mind before you can master your life. Marcus didn't wake up to noise. He woke up to clarity. Instead of rushing, he reflected. Instead of reacting, he chose his response. And instead of chasing life, he prepared to meet it with strength. That's why today, neuroscientists, peak performers, and even special forces are now turning back to Stoicism. Because these ancient morning rituals don't just build discipline, they rewire the brain, reduce stress, increase longevity, and create what philosophers call calm power. So ask yourself, are you truly waking up or merely getting out of bed? Today I'll reveal 7 Stoic morning practices, ancient wisdom, modern results. Let's begin. Part 1, Morning Perspective. You wake up twice. What if you were already a miracle before you even opened your eyes today? Think about this: over 150,000 people didn't wake up this morning. But you did. That means before saying a single word, before checking your phone, before making any decision at all, you've already won the greatest battle of all, the battle for another chance. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This wasn't simply motivation. It was a reminder that life itself is borrowed, and each morning is not guaranteed, it is granted. Now let's slow down. Let's reset together. Take a deep breath in, 3, 2, 1, and slowly let it out. Say it with me. Today is a gift, and I will not waste it. Modern neuroscience agrees with the Stoics. Starting your morning with gratitude literally rewires your brain. Studies from UC Davis show that just a few minutes of morning intention can reduce cortisol by up to 23% and increase happiness by more than 30. This isn't philosophy, it's biology. But most people wake up with their phones, their stress, their obligations. We wake up, but we are not awake. We survive, but do not truly live. Marcus Aurelius had a different strategy. Each morning he paused, even for a moment, reminding himself, "I have already won because I woke up today." And so before your day begins, I invite you to try something powerful. For the first 5 minutes after waking up, touch nothing. No social media, no emails, no noise. Instead, speak one sentence of gratitude and write one sentence of intention. That's it. One line that sets your mental compass for the entire day. Because you don't need a miracle morning, you need a mindful one. Breathe with me again. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, exhale. Today is a gift. And if your heart feels even a little lighter right now, that's not luck. That is Stoicism working. Marcus believed we wake up twice. Once when our eyes open, and again when our mind awakens. So ask yourself, are you truly awake, or are you just getting out of bed? This is only the first step. Because after waking up twice, the Stoics did something even more fascinating. They prepared for life's problems before they even happen. They believe that fear loses its power when you face it in your mind first. In the next part, we explore that ancient practice and how it can make you mentally bulletproof. This is the mindset that trained warriors and shaped empires. Are you ready to learn it? Part 2, Negative Visualization. What if fear didn't disappear, but simply lost its power over you? The Stoics believe that strength is in the absence of fear, its preparation for it. That's why Marcus Aurelius practiced negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Before entering his day, he expected difficulty, not to suffer, but to prepare. Because when the mind rehearses adversity, it stops panicking and starts planning. Marcus wrote, "When you wake up, tell yourself today, I will meet interference, ingratitude, selfishness, all of it." But he didn't write this with bitterness, he wrote it with calm. He understood that a prepared mind cannot be broken. A storm you expect cannot surprise you. Let's take a breath together. Inhale slowly, 3, 2, and exhale. Say it with me, I do not fear the challenge, I prepare for it. Modern science agrees. A Stanford University study found that when people mentally anticipate potential challenges, their stress levels drop by up to 32%. Psychologists call this stress inoculation, like a vaccine for the mind. The Stoics knew it 2,000 years ago. Imagine this tomorrow: someone criticizes you. Plans fail. You face delay, error, rejection. Normally you react. But what if that morning you had already expected it? Your mind would remain steady. Because expecting the storm is different from fearing it. A calm, "If this happens, I will respond with clarity," is sometimes all it takes to win the day. Seneca said we suffer more in imagination than in reality. But the wise suffer first in imagination so that reality hurts less. Let's try it now. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine one possible difficulty today. Don't avoid it. Don't fight it. Just see it. Now imagine responding with strength, steady breath, calm tone, clear choice. In that moment, you have already won. Let's reset. Inhale 3, 2, 1, exhale. Say it softly: I will not be surprised, I will be prepared. Here is your Stoic practice for 7 days. Each morning, write down one challenge that might happen, and beneath it, write your chosen response. Just one sentence. That's it. If nothing bad happens, good. If it does, you'll be ready. And readiness is a form of peace. This is not negativity. This is mental armor. Marcus Aurelius didn't avoid reality, he anticipated it. And in doing so, he became free. Because anxiety is born from resistance, but fear becomes smaller when you meet it directly. Ask yourself gently, what would change in your life if challenges stopped surprising you? Who would you become if discomfort could no longer control you? Let's take one final breath. Inhale 3, 2, 1, exhale. Now say it: I do not react, I respond. And that is negative visualization. Not weakness, not worry. It is silent confidence. It is what prepares us for the next great Stoic principle. Something that changed lives, built empires, and shaped warriors. Control the controllables. Shall we continue? Part 3, control the controllables. What if the real source of your stress wasn't your life but your attention? The Stoics believed that most suffering comes from trying to control what was never ours to command. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Those last 5 words are everything: you will find strength. Imagine this: your phone buzzes with a message that changes your mood instantly. Traffic ruins your morning. Someone says something careless, and it echoes in your head for hours. We don't control these events, but we try to. And that attempt, that resistance, becomes suffering. Let's pause for a moment. Breathe in slowly. 3, 2, 1, and breathe out. Now listen carefully. The most powerful people in history were not those who controlled everything, but those who controlled themselves. Marcus didn't wake up trying to control his empire. He woke up trying to control his reaction to it. Modern psychology now calls this the locus of control. People who focus on what they can control have lower anxiety, higher confidence, and longer lifespans. Meanwhile, people who focus on external events are nearly 40% more likely to suffer from depression and chronic stress. This is not philosophy anymore. This is data. So let's apply it. Each morning before your day begins, ask just 2 questions. What can I control today, and what must I accept? Write it down. When things go wrong, and they will, you already know where to place your energy. That clarity is power, because when you divide your world stops dividing you. Seneca said, fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling, meaning life will happen either way. The question is, will you meet it with resistance or with readiness? Let's reset again. Breathe in, breathe out. Now say it with me: I control my response. That's all I need. Here is your practice for 1 week. Create the 2-list system. On the left, things you can control. On the right, things you cannot. Your thoughts, your actions, your effort, they go on the left. Other people's opinions, the weather, the past, they go on the right. Now here's the rule: you only spend energy on the left side. This simple habit has helped CEOs, athletes, soldiers, and it will help you too. Because clarity is the beginning of strength. Let me ask you something. How much of your energy is wasted on what you cannot control? How many hours have been lost replaying conversations, imagining judgments, trying to win battles that were never yours? The moment you stop trying to control the wind, you can adjust the sails. Marcus Aurelius didn't live an easy life. He faced wars, betrayal, sickness, loss. But he remained steady because his energy flowed in one direction inward. He believed the only true kingdom a man can rule is his own mind. And so I ask you gently, what if this entire week you placed your attention only where it truly matters? What if stress wasn't something you had to eliminate, but something you could redirect? What if peace wasn't the absence of problems, but the mastery of response? Because if you can do that, if you can truly learn to control the controllables, then you can walk through storms with calmness. And that is what the Stoics called unshakable power. Now, if you're ready, we move to one of the greatest morning practices of Marcus Aurelius, the art of designing your day before the world does it for you. It's a technique used by philosophers, fighters, and even modern CEOs. In the next part, we explore the one-page journal. Let's continue. Part 4, the one-page journal. What if the most powerful tool for success, clarity, and peace of mind was not technology, money, or intelligence, but a single page, not a book, not 1,000 words, just one page? That's all Marcus Aurelius needed each morning. He wrote meditations not as a masterpiece, but as a mirror, not for fame, but for clarity. These were not writings for an audience, they were reminders to himself. They were shields for his mind. They were armor for his soul. Every morning, Marcus asked 3 questions. What must I do today? What must I avoid? And what kind of person will I choose to be? Because if you don't design your day, the world will design it for you. Let's pause for a moment. Deep breath in and out. Now say it with me. I choose who I will be today. Research from the University of Texas shows that people who write their intentions each morning are 42% more likely to take meaningful action and twice as likely to handle stress effectively. This is not magic, it's mental architecture. You are building the foundation of your day with words. So here is your morning practice, one page. That's all. At the top, write today's date, because this day will never come again. Then write 3 questions. 1. What matters today? 2. What must I avoid? 3. Who will I be? This is not journaling. This is leadership. You are not recording your life. You are designing it. Let's reset. Inhale deeply. 3, 2, 1, exhale. Now picture yourself writing that one page tomorrow morning in silence before the noise enters. Just you, a pen and direction. Continue doing this for 7 days and something will happen. Your language will change. Your tone will change. Your decisions will change. Because you will see something clearly, you are no longer reacting to life, you are shaping it. Entrepreneur and author James Clear says, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." And this one-page ritual is a system for self-mastery. CEOs use it. Athletes use it. Navy SEALs use it. And Marcus Aurelius used it to guide an empire while never losing his mind. Think about that. A man surrounded by war, betrayal, and death still found clarity through a pen and a page, which means this peace is not found in silence. Peace is created by decision. If your mind feels calmer right now, that is not luck. That is you glimpsing a truth the Stoics live by. The page is a sword, it cuts confusion from your mind. Let me ask you, what would your life look like if every day for the next month began with one page? What would change? What would disappear? And who would you become? Because tomorrow morning will arrive whether you're ready or not. The question is, will it shape you or will you shape it? Let's take one last breath together. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, exhale. Now whisper this gently to yourself. Today I begin with clarity. And speaking of clarity, we now reach the practice that makes everything urgent, that gives life its intensity, and reminds us that all of this ends. The Stoics called it Memento Mori. In Part 5, we learn how remembering death can teach you how to truly live. Shall we continue? Part 5, Memento Mori. Remember you will die. What if the most powerful way to live was to remember that you will die? Not in a sad way, not in a dark way, but in a way that makes every moment sharp, every decision meaningful, every breath awake. The Stoics called this Memento Mori, remember that you must die. But behind those words was not despair. It was awakening. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now." Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Those words were not meant to scare people, they were meant to bring them back to life. Because sometimes the weight of mortality is the only thing strong enough to break the prison of procrastination. Let's pause. Take a slow breath in 3, 2, 1, and gently breathe out. Now, I want you to imagine this. If today were your last day, what would truly matter? The rush, the worry, the opinions? Or would you search for meaning, presence, love, and truth? Here's what modern research shows: people who reflect on mortality, even briefly, report higher gratitude, deeper focus, and stronger relationships. They don't become sad, they become awake. A study from Cambridge University found that controlled awareness of death reduces anxiety by up to 35%, not because fear disappears, but because perspective arrives. Say it with me, Memento Mori. I will live fully while I am here. The Stoics didn't fear death, they feared not living enough. Seneca wrote, "Life is long if you know how to use it." Yet most people die long before their heart stops beating. They die the moment their dreams are replaced by routine, their passion buried under obligation, and their spirit trapped in comfort. But what if every morning you ask just one question: if this were my last day, would I still do what I'm about to do? If the answer is no, change your actions. If the answer is yes, do it with your whole being. That is the Stoic code. Let's do our reset. Deep breath in, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. Now say it with me: I do not fear death. I fear living without purpose. This sentence has helped thousands break cycles of delay, doubt, and distraction. It trains the mind to return to this moment, the only place where life truly exists. Here's your practice. For the next week, write on the top of your page, Memento Mori. Then beneath it, answer this: what would I do today if I truly remembered my time was limited? Perhaps you'd speak kinder. Perhaps you'd start something you've been delaying. Perhaps you'd forgive someone, including yourself. Because when life is seen clearly, life becomes sacred. And when death is understood, living becomes urgent. That is not pessimism, it is power. As Steve Jobs once said, remembering that it'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered for making big decisions in life. Almost everything, fear, embarrassment, failure, just falls away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. Listen to that again: what is truly important. If you take just one thing from this part, let it be this: Memento Mori is not about the end, it is about the beginning. If your heart feels fuller right now, if your mind feels calmer, if your day suddenly looks sharper, then something inside you has awakened. And that awakening is the beginning of real living. Let's breathe one last time. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, exhale. Now whisper it softly: today I choose to live. And in the next part, we explore how the Stoics train the body to strengthen the mind. Cold water, controlled discomfort, the building of real discipline. Because philosophy means nothing unless it becomes action. Part 6, cold discipline. What if the first battle of the day was not in your mind but in your body? The Stoics believed that the path to a strong mind begins with physical challenge. Marcus Aurelius practiced discomfort to build discipline, not to suffer but to strengthen the will. Because comfort, when repeated enough, becomes a cage, and discomfort, when embraced, becomes a teacher. Today, modern neuroscience agrees. Cold exposure, even just 30 seconds after your shower, increases dopamine levels by up to 250% naturally. That's higher than most antidepressant medications. It reduces inflammation, boosts immunity, and improves circulation. But perhaps most importantly, it teaches you something powerful: you can feel discomfort without being controlled by it. Let's pause. Take a breath in 3, 2, 1, and exhale. Now imagine stepping into cold water tomorrow morning. Your body screams no, but your mind whispers stay. In that moment, the ancient battle of self-mastery begins. And every second you stay, you train your brain to choose strength over impulse. This is not about cold water. This is about becoming the kind of person who does not run from challenge. Wim Hof, known as the Iceman, said, "The cold is not my enemy. The cold is my doorway to the soul." And Navy SEALs have a rule: if it doesn't suck, we don't do it. Because growth rarely happens in comfort. So here is your practice after your next shower: turn the water cold for just 30 seconds. That's all. Breathe slowly and repeat these words: I am safe. I am strong. I can stay. It won't be easy, but everything meaningful begins beyond ease. Seneca wrote, "We treat the body rigorously so it may not be disobedient to the mind. This is not punishment. This is preparation." Let's breathe again. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. Now say it with me. Discomfort is not my enemy, it is my training. That sentence alone can change the way you live. People often say they lack motivation, but the Stoics didn't rely on motivation. They relied on discipline. Motivation appears and disappears like the wind, but discipline is like stone, silent, steady, unshaken. By practicing cold discipline, you are sending a message to your subconscious: I do not wait to feel ready. I act. And if you do this consistently, even for 7 days, you will notice it. Not in your muscles, but in your choices. When stress arrives, you'll breathe instead of panic. When fear shows up, you'll stand instead of run. When procrastination whispers, you'll take action instead of delay. Because the body will remember, I can handle discomfort. I have trained for this. If your heart is beating a little faster right now, that is good. That means your spirit is listening. Marcus Aurelius believed that the body is a gateway, not a barrier to strength, and that each morning we have a chance to build power, not from comfort, but from challenge. Let's take one last breath together. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, exhale. Now whisper these words today: I choose strength over comfort. And that brings us to our final practice, the most peaceful one of all. The one that restores the nervous system, rewires the mind, and awakens silent awareness. The practice that Marcus Aurelius used to reset before each day began. In part 7, we walk with him in silence. Ready to take the last step? Let's continue. Part 7, the silent walk. What if clarity wasn't something you needed to find, but something you needed to hear? The truth is, life isn't getting louder, your mind is. And in a world that constantly shouts, the greatest strength is found in silence. Marcus Aurelius understood this. Before ruling an empire, before making decisions that shaped history, he walked alone in silence. No music, no noise, just awareness. This practice is now known as non-sleep deep rest in neuroscience. Just 5 minutes of silent walking, not for exercise but for stillness, can reset your entire nervous system. Studies from Stanford University show that silent conscious walking lowers stress hormones by nearly 30%, improves memory, mental clarity, and even enhances emotional control. The Stoics knew this centuries ago. They believed that the mind is like water. When disturbed, it can't reflect anything clearly. But when it becomes still, it reveals everything. Let's pause together. Take a breath in, 3, 2, 1, and exhale slowly. Now imagine yourself stepping outside, no phone, no distractions. You can hear your footsteps, the wind, your own breath. You're not forcing thoughts to leave, you're simply letting them pass. This is not meditation. This is returning to your nature. Seneca wrote, we are restless because we run away from ourselves. And so I ask you, when was the last time you truly listened to your own mind without interruption? Not to overthink, but to understand. Modern life moves quickly, but wisdom moves slowly. And silence is the bridge between the two. Here's your practice tomorrow morning. Take a 5-minute silent walk. No earphones, no scrolling, no talking, just awareness. Pay attention to sounds, movements, and your own breath. That is your classroom. That is your temple. And if thoughts appear, let them come and let them go. Let's breathe again. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, exhale. Now repeat softly, silence is not empty, it is full of answers. If you try this for 7 days, you will feel it. Not as motivation, but as clarity. Your emotions will feel lighter. Your decisions will feel cleaner. And your mind whispering to you, I am home again. This is the final Stoic practice. But it is also the beginning of something greater, a new relationship with your morning, with your mind, and with your life. Marcus Aurelius lived as an emperor, but walked as a student. Because wisdom is not about knowing more, but about needing less. Let's close with one last breath together. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, exhale slowly, and say it gently, I have returned to myself. You have now completed the 7 Stoic morning practices that can add 20 years to your life. Not through magic, not through luck, but through awareness, discipline, and presence. If this message speaks to you, like this video, share it with someone who needs inner strength. Subscribe to Making Life Better, because every week we bring ancient wisdom to modern life. And now I want to hear from you. Comment just one word, a word that captures the spirit of this journey. That word is unshaken, because that's the Stoic way. Not emotionless, not distant, but calm, aware, and unshaken. And finally, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius: waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one.